We've told you that there's a certain formula to making an engine sound great. Like the Lamborghinis we featured in a few of our recent videos, for example, the kind of engine where just adding the right exhaust makes it sing like an Italian opera, or the wrong one makes it roar like an angry automaton. But what happens when you start with an engine that most feel didn't sound up to its potential? One that leaves you just a little bit disappointed every time you rev it up. Can you take that and make it sound incredible? Today, we're gonna find out. What's up everyone, OJ Lopez here, and we're focusing our skills into the BMW S85 V10, the engine that should sound amazing, but doesn't, at least not yet. Stick around because we're about to transform this technological marvel into something that finally lives up to the specs. But before we jump in, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of the future builds. Trust me, you're gonna wanna see what's coming next. This here is BMW's S85 V10 engine, legendary in its own right. 10 cylinders, double overhead cams, a beautifully designed cylinder head that should flow like a dream, and revs to the heavens at over 8,000 RPM. Sounds perfect, right? Well, here's the kicker. There's no consensus on what this engine should sound like when it's got the right exhaust. But today, we're gonna change that. The S85 V10 was BMW's answer to the likes of Ferrari and Lamborghini back in the early 2000s. A high-revving, naturally aspirated beast designed for performance and that perfect touch of European refinement. It powered the E60 M5 and E60 M6, making them some of the most exciting cars of their era. But as we all know, the story doesn't end there. Despite the S85 having the right ingredients for a great sounding V10 layout, dual overhead cam, well-flowing head design, people have been left wanting more when it comes to the exhaust sound. The engine screams on paper, but in practice, it's a little bit more of a whimper. There's been a lot of trial and error out there with systems that sound either too raspy, too muted, or just plain wrong. So why does this happen? So let's break it down. In a video we recently did titled, "Want an F1 sounding exhaust? You need to understand this," we told you the biggest contributing factors to exhaust sound are the intake and exhaust ports in relation to the camshaft, as well as engine RPM. The ports control how efficiently the gases flow through the engine, while the camshaft timing dictates when these gases enter and exit the cylinders. When you've got a high RPM engine like the S85, the challenge isn't just making it sound good, it's making it sound great across the entire rev range. It's like playing an instrument. The length of the exhaust pipes, the diameter, the placement of the crossover pipes, all of it affects the pitch, tone, and volume. Get it wrong, and instead of a beautiful V10 wail, you'll end up with something that sounds like a 4-cylinder with 2 Honda fart cans. The problem with the S85 is that its natural characteristics don't always play nice with off-the-shelf systems. So today, we're crafting it custom, something we've done before, many years ago, a system that'll let this V10 sing in a way that finally does it justice. And here we have a system that perfectly exemplifies my point, and I've seen this countless times. A stock system, and right about here we seem to be missing something, having some aftermarket pipes put in place. But honestly, you're looking at a system that gives peak performance. So while it may not look like much, getting rid of this section here, which includes the precats and the resonator, actually ends up in the best performance output of any catback system. Now, notice I didn't say it sounds good, and you could probably improve the performance a bit with an X-pipe somewhere in this area up front. However, the other thing that's wrong with this system is the sizing steps down, creating slight bottleneck, but it's probably not exceeding the flow requirements for the engine yet. However, a few airflow mods and you could easily get there. and surpass this piping diameter without an issue. But what do we see? What are the main issues? Again, sizing drops down. We have magnetic. That means it's mild steel on a European car. Aluminized pipes, crush bends here. And while those don't matter so much for performance, what they do matter for is giving a clean sound. You have all these transitions, these harsh welds, these awkward bends where they don't need to be, this harsh angle where the pipe goes back, another crispy looking weld going back to a factory system that wasn't designed to control the resonance of two straight true dual pipes. So this is the sort of thing that even if it was sized correctly would still end up not sounding great. Now, let's talk about headers. This car right now is utilizing our header system, which actually includes a factory tubular manifold. We use the tubular manifold and then we run that into a megaphoned section that closes the collector down, allows it to transition to the rest of the exhaust. Now, there are a few other systems out there that offer different headers. And I'll be honest with you guys, we've tested 4 setups now, Super Sprint, Evolve, and there's 2 more that had other headers. And the power difference on cars, we're talking just swapping in headers versus just removing the, doing an off-road setup, not emissions compliant, off-road use only, removing the cat is maybe about 10 horsepower at most. Now, where you do see the benefits of running the bigger headers, the better designed, more expensive headers, is when you're really pushing the airflow on these cars, such as cams. We've done some wicked cam tunes for these cars. Stroker motors, we've had a few Dynon strokers in here. But as far as cars that are basically you're bolting headers on and trying to extract more power, you'd be lucky to get 6 horsepower. And that's, you know, potentially a $2,000 premium, which goes into the other point, the exhaust sections in the rear, same thing. The high-end ones, you're potentially paying a $2,000 premium for, in what we consider a sound increase and no more performance. As I told you, a setup like this will probably give you your best catback gains. And a setup like we have up here, while I won't say that we've tested this for the best sound, I think you'd be hard pressed to hear a difference between the factory manifold, the factory headers, or the aftermarket options. It'd be hard for somebody to pick up the sound difference between the two. And no, there's no stepped versions available. Is that something that we want to get into making? Maybe, but again, these are very complicated and that's going to reflect in the price, and this market just doesn't support that stuff. So with that being said, this is what's wrong. We know what to do to fix it, and now we're going to show you. You've heard it, right? The rasp, the drone, the disappointment. So why is it after nearly 2 decades of aftermarket development, there's still no consensus on what setup makes this engine sound great? Well, brace yourselves, BMW enthusiasts, because the answer is y'all are cheap. Yes, I said it. And I know there's plenty of high-dollar systems out there, but trust me, I've seen it all. The demand for cheaper options has been relentless. Look, we fab custom exhausts, but we also install a lot of them. And over the years, probably more than we fabbed by a long shot. We've tested them, dynoed them, and heard their sound. And what do people want? Largely, they've been asking for performance on a budget. Notice I didn't say sound great. Just look at the systems you can get. That's a lot of stainless steel. In fact, I couldn't even touch it for the cost of materials in the prices shipped. So you can see why we didn't just jump into development. Everyone wanted to know how much power our system made and why it costs so much more. Well, it's simple. It doesn't just make power. It takes everything we've learned about exhaust design and brings out the best sound characteristics of this engine. And yeah, that reflects in the cost. But here's the thing, times are a-changin'. In a world where few bolt-ons can turn a factory car into a 9-second drag machine, people are starting to realize that it's more than just about being fast. If everything's fast, how do you stand out? In my opinion, you stand out by having an incredible sounding car that grabs attention wherever it goes. It might not be a sub 10-second car, but when everyone at the car meet asks you to rev it, that leaves a bigger impression than telling people you ran a 9.99 on your Draggy app. Sound is an experience, and yeah, sound is subjective, but most people can tell the difference between music and noise. But here's what happens when you get it wrong. Too much rasp, not enough depth, and a complete lack of that V10 character we all crave. So why does FMU succeed where others fail? It's simple. We've been doing this for years, building our experience with these engines, testing, tweaking, and yes, redoing systems until they were perfect. By 2014, we had customers rolling out here with exhausts that didn't just perform. They sounded like nothing else on the road. You don't get that by rushing to market or copying what's out there. You get that by putting in the work. We took what didn't work, learned from it, and turned that knowledge into a reputation. That's why we're applying this to the S85 V10 today. Decades of experience toned down to the millimeter to craft a sound that's as unique as it is powerful. All right, so we're gonna start with what we know works. Based on our years of experience with M engines, and believe me, we've had our fair share of trial and error. We've landed on a few non-negotiables for this build. We're talking about an X-pipe to smooth out the exhaust pulses, step tubing to optimize flow, and a quad resonated system to refine the sound without losing the raw edge. So we're gonna need dual 3-inch pipes, and we're gonna step that down before splitting this up into a quad setup. No valves this time. We're controlling the sound through the design itself, eliminating any drone, but keeping the volume just right. Sure, we use valves, but many systems out there slap them on to mask poor design choices. On this system, we're making sure the sound is right from the get-go. This isn't just about volume, it's about tone, resonance, and that elusive character that makes you grin every time you hit the throttle. So the exhaust is finished. Gonna go over a few of the design changes of some things that we've done in the past. Now, we wanted to keep the X-pipe as close to the front as possible. Anytime you get an X-pipe further towards the rear, one of our previous systems that we had done for this car, it was further towards the rear, but the closer you get the exhaust to the termination point, the exit point, the more rasp, the more uncleanliness you can induce in the system. So that way, keeping it up front allows time for the exhaust impurities to kind of bounce their way out, get absorbed. Just creates a total cleaner sound the closer you get that X. V-banded the system so that way if we need to take this apart or make it shippable, should be easy to do so. We went with a bottle resonator in the front, which admittedly they don't do a whole bunch, but because we're tight on constraints for where we can put the muffling, something's better than nothing. So that was kind of the idea there. Our X, it is our 45-degree design, typical of what we used. Went a little wider here. And our first obstacle was where to put the megaphones. We haven't actually tried megaphones on this car, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how it comes out. It might need more refinement in the future, but we've got a pretty good idea where they should sound, where they can fit. And this section should be what we're looking for. Straight, we're still 3-inch. Back here though is where we're gonna be controlling most of the drone by doing a stepped size down to a 2.5. into our quad resonated system using vibrant ultra quiets. Stepping that down and splitting it oftentimes keeps that drone in an area that's very low, so it's not very annoying under cruise, and ends up with a more clean, refined sound that doesn't get too annoying. So I can't wait to get this thing on the ground, see how it sounds. I'm real impressed with the overall look and finish that Cody was able to pull out here. It looks great. And I think the only thing left to do is just see what it sounds like. All right, Cody, everything buttoned up. We good to start it up?
Yeah, it should be 100% ready to go.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to hear this thing sound.
It's been a few years since we actually heard one of these, so. So right away, it's got like a better depth.
Yeah, it's a whole lot cleaner.
These get real like tinny at startup and like just sound like garbage. It's
right.
Sometimes it can be kind of embarrassing, you know, like like this actually sounds pretty clean. We'll let this warm up. Give it a second.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit more high-end pitch. You know, it's hard to tell inside the building. I think we need to hear it under load.
Yeah,
but it's still clean, and inside the cabin, it actually doesn't sound, I don't know, that funky like these things get when you open them up. So I'm curious to see what it sounds like on the road, but you know, it sounds pretty good. So what were some of the challenges you had with the exhaust, would you say, before I go blast this thing around?
Well, the biggest challenge was the muffler section, actually. Getting the resonator set up to fit. I had to play with that a little bit. I was trying to do a more straight through and out, but then the mufflers didn't fit, so I had to redesign the configuration of that.
Yeah, I like how you did the step section. That came out really trick. The Y that you did there looked really good. Pretty impressed with that. And then how the mufflers go straight out to the tips. You lined that up pretty good too. So I'm super happy with that, but let's see how this thing sounds under load. And there it is, a sound that maximizes the potential of this engine. Deep, resonant, with that unmistakable V10 howl, but still refined. It's a sound that turns heads for the right reasons, and best of all, it's backed by performance gains. This isn't just noise, it's engineered to enhance the driving experience. So that's how we make a good engine into something even better, with the right exhaust. It's not about just slapping on parts and hoping for the best. It's about understanding the science, the art, and the craft of exhaust design. Now, if you're looking to transform your car's sound, you know where to find us. But until next time, keep it loud, keep it fast, and keep it FMU.